Hello, hello, hello. So, I am going to be doing a quick pizza video. First, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kathy. So I have done pizza videos before, but I wanted to do an updated one. I think pizza is trial and error. I think you try different things and some things work better than others. And I'm just going to show you what I typically do. My house, we like to eat pizza every Friday. So this is what I do. A lot of times I make the dough ahead of time, but right now I'm going to show you how I make the dough, how I form it into a pizza, and then I will show you the finished product. And hopefully I can show you how to form a garlic knot as well. So the ingredients you need are flour, salt, like a sea salt or a kosher salt, yeast, and then honey or sugar, and water. You can also use olive oil. Okay, that's for the dough. And then for your toppings, you use your sauce and cheese and whatever toppings you like. Okay, so I am going to do just a 2-cup dough ball. 2 cups of dough can give you one small, like 8 to 10 inch pie, and then like 8 to 12 garlic knots. It really depends. And then, yeah, so, you know, depending on how much flour you use, that's how much pizza you're going to get. So really, I'm going to click to leave some information in the description about how much yeast you need to use with how much flour, and then also how much flour you should use depending on how much pizza you want to get. So again, right now I'm going to show you, this is going to be 2 cups of flour, okay, which can yield you like 2 small 8-inch pies or like 1 10-inch pie and some garlic knots. All right, so first I dissolve the yeast. So I use honey, okay? You get your yeast, your active dry yeast, okay? You're going to dissolve it with honey and water. I can talk, right? Okay. Whisk it up with a fork. Make sure that it forms bubbles, okay? If it doesn't form bubbles, that means your yeast is dead, which means your pizza won't rise, your dough won't rise. Okay, so yeast, water, honey, mix it up. Now you're gonna start adding your flour. And you want to make sure if you're going to use salt, add salt to it, add the salt directly to the flour, not to the yeast mixture. Okay, so I'm measuring out 2 cups. 1, 2. 2 cups of flour. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Keep your flour out in case you need extra. Add a little bit of, I'm using sea salt. So I'm going to grate that on top of the flour. Mix that up. Okay, so right now in the bowl we have the yeast with yeast and honey, a little bit of water, flour. Now I'm going to have to add more water. You're going to need about 1 cup. But as you mix, you'll see if it's really dry, you can add more water, and if it's too wet, you could add more flour. So slowly, I'm going to start with 1 cup of water. Slowly pour it in. And remember, you already have a little water in there at the bottom from the yeast mixture. All right, you're going to stir it up. That is the pizza. I'm going to check and see if it is done that I'm making because I want to be able to show you the finished product. Okay. So, high tech, right? Okay. I'm going to take it off the tray, place it directly onto the oven rack, get it nice and crispy. Give that another minute, and then take it out. Okay. Back to over here, back to making the dough. So you're going to keep mixing and mixing. I'll show you what that's going to look like. See, it's dry, crumbly. So you're going to add more water. And then you're just going to keep mixing. That on the lower level there. Mixing. And this is going to form into a dough ball. Oh, okay, added a little too much water. That's fine. Okay, see it's a little wet, so you're going to add some flour. All right. Now, once you have this dough ball, all right, it's going to be a nice dough ball. And you can knead it, mix it and knead it. It's going to form a dough ball. Once you have your dough ball, okay, you can keep working on it to make it nice and smooth. There you go. See? Now you're going to grease the bottom of a bowl, a Tupperware bowl or any type of bowl. And if you want, you could put it in the bowl and then let it rise overnight. Or you can let it rise on the counter for an hour or two. Okay, so right now I'm going to leave this in this bowl for a moment. And I'm going to show you the flour, the dough that I already have that I let rise overnight. And I'm going to then I'll show you a finished. So this dough has to rise for like an hour or so. And then I'm going to show you, like I said, the dough that I have and form it into a pizza. What I really need to do is grab that pizza out of the oven so it doesn't burn. This is messy. So anyway, so how are you doing today? I hope you guys are having a great day. Yeah, making pizza is really fun. It really all started for me when I knew that I wanted to learn how to do bread. So I started with that, and then I was like, wait, you can use the same recipe base for bread and pizza. So then making bread turned into making pizza, because my family loves pizza, and so it's fun to try something new, and it's really, if I can do it, anyone can do it, okay? See, I have to carry my camera around with me, okay? I'm not high tech at all. Super simple. If I can do it, anyone can. But again, it took a lot of practice. Like the first few times I made pizza, it didn't come out that great. All right, here we go. So here's our finished product. You know what I'll do? Okay, don't lose patience with me. You're gonna see the pizza. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. This is the finished product, okay? But I'm still going to show you how to shape it, how to form the ball, and then you'll bake it. So when you're baking the pizza, you're going to want it at a high temp. I don't have a pizza oven. Most pizza ovens, they get extremely hot temperature. You're talking, well over 600 degrees. So in our house, I only put the oven at about 425, and then you keep your eye on it. You could go up to 450. Just keep your eye on it. You don't want it to burn. Okay? So, like I said, this is the finished product. Look at that. Okay, this was 425 for about 12 minutes. Cook it on the cookie sheet, and at some point towards the end of the baking, you could take it off the cookie sheet and let it be directly on the rack. Okay, it gets nice and crispy. All right, so you have your cookie sheet, and you can spray it with olive oil. Here's my dough. This is my dough. I made this yesterday. It rose overnight in the fridge. This was 4 cups of flour. Some of that dough was taken out to make this, okay? So you can use a scale, or I just took out a chunk, like a baseball size. Nothing fancy. I just eyeball it, okay? So you're taking out some of that. Now you can have a bowl of cold water on the counter, dip your hand in. That will help you because the dough will be sticky. Flour can help with the stickiness, water, oil. Use what works for you. So I'm just going to show you how to shape it. Then you just build your pizza. You add your sauce, your cheese, and then you bake it. Like I said, you bake it around 425. For these smaller pies, for these like 8-inch pies, you really just need 425 for about 10 to 12 minutes. Keep your eye on it. For the big, sometimes with 4 cups of flour, you can make a nice big, you can fill this whole pan with pizza, and you can do, the cookie sheet pizza, which is like a Sicilian, and that's going to take longer because it's going to be much thicker, much bigger. That's going to be like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So the dough is cold, so that's why it's not spreading as well. Okay, you're going to want to let the dough sit out for like 10 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes, because when it's cold, it's harder for it to stretch out. But it will stretch out eventually. Let it stretch. So the flour I like to use is Bob's Red Mill. You can use a bread flour or an organic unbleached all-purpose flour. The experts, I know they recommend using the 00 flour. I just use the bread flour or the all-purpose, the unbleached all-purpose flour. All right, so again, this is a little sticky because it was in the fridge. but essentially you're just forming it into a pizza, okay? You just keep stretching it out. If you want to let it sit and get room temperature. All right, so you're gonna form it into a circle, pretty much. I'm gonna use a little extra virgin olive oil, dip my hands in some cold water, and then hopefully this will help me. Yes, see, this helps me spread it out. See how it's forming a circle like this, okay? On my cookie sheet, my very old and very, very used cookie sheet. I bake a lot of pizza and bread too. All right, so can you believe it? You can use this same dough for bread and pizza. Okay, there you go. Then you're gonna put your pizza sauce. You can use homemade sauce. You can buy store-made pizza sauce, jar sauce, whatever sauce you like. You're gonna spread that out. A little bit of, all right. There you go. This is just a mess. Bear with me. Okay. So again, it's a little thick here. So, you know, if you want a thinner crust, again, if the dough is cold, it's going to be harder to stretch out. So let it, you know, sit out for a little while, and then it'll be easier to work with. So this is going to be like a really thick crust pizza. I can try to thin it out a little, but I already put the sauce on. But anyway, all right, can you see? And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's going to be delicious. It's pizza, so it doesn't matter. Now, cheese. And then add whatever toppings you want. So we're doing cheese. Okay, so this is a very tiny little pie, but you know, that's how much dough I grabbed. And then you can top it with some garlic, with some basil. Pop this in the oven, 425. This will only take about 10 to 12 minutes, okay? It's gonna rise up, and boom, you're going to get this deliciousness. I top this with basil and garlic powder, okay? But you add whatever toppings you want. If you're doing a thinner crust, don't put too much toppings because it'll be too heavy. All right, so that goes in the oven. Now quickly, I'm just gonna show you how I form a garlic knot, and then that's it. Then I will let you go. All right, so you take a little bit chunk of the dough, like a golf ball size. If it's super sticky, you can use some water or some flour. And then you're going to roll it out into like a rope. I'm sure there are easier and better ways to do all this. This is just the way I do it. Rope, like this, okay? It's probably about 6 inches or so. The longer the better, but anyway, and then you just tie it. So that was kind of wet, so it didn't work out exactly how I wanted it to. But you just tie it in a knot. Okay, now when you make the garlic knots, you're gonna cook them on the baking sheet, and then you're gonna melt some butter, and you're gonna use garlic or a garlic salt. Garlic salt is really good with the for the garlic knots. It's salty and garlicky, delicious. And then the garlic knots, they really only need about 10 minutes to bake. And again, it depends how much flour you use, how many you'll get, right? So I'm just gonna reshape this. I added flour, it was too wet. I added some flour. I'm gonna reshape this and shape it into a better garlic knot for you guys to see. So you roll it into a rope, then you twist it into a knot. See? It's still a little sticky, but anyway, that's what it looks like. And then you put it on the baking sheet, and like I said, you're gonna dip it in some melted butter, garlic or garlic salt. You could brush it on with a little, if you have like a little pastry brush or anything like that, or you could just dip it directly into the melted butter, and then bake it at 425 for about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 12 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, and you know what? They're gonna rise up a little bit. They're gonna be crispy and delicious. Okay, so let's slice into this pizza, the finished product pizza. And again, you know, this is easy. This is all super simple. There are, you know, much fancier ways of doing all this, but this is just if you're just, you know, home, you want to make pizza, basically anyone can do it. You just need your flour, your yeast, sugar or honey, and water. And then of course, for your toppings, your cheese, your sauce, and whatever else. Okay, so I'm gonna slice into this. Can you see? Look at that. Technology. Not, right? Okay, here we go. Slicing. Look at that. Okay. There you go. Probably could have cooked it a little longer, but there you go. There's your pizza. Nice crust. Right, see? Delicious. Yeah, I could have cooked it a little longer, but then it might have, I didn't want it to burn. All right, so anyway, so yeah, if you want to make homemade pizza, just get yourself some flour, some yeast, some sugar or honey, and then, you know, mozzarella cheese and sauce and whatever toppings you like. And go ahead, have a pizza night with your family. It's actually quite simple. All right, enjoy. If you make it, please let me know in the comments below. All right, I hope you have a great night. Okay, super simple homemade pizza. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I will hopefully see you again. Okay, bye.